Hello, my name's Ed, and this is going to be Buried, an interactive story. A choose-your-own-adventure type game where your choices basically dictate the path you take throughout the game. I'd recommend sitting back, relax, enjoy. I open my eyes and the first thing I want to do is scream. I'm flat on my back and everything seems to hurt. The trees overhead look familiar. It's a clear night sky, almost beautiful, except for the fact that this means I've been out cold for at least 6 hours. But there's something wrong. I don't remember what, but something happened and my head, my God, my head hurts. And a ringing in my ears. Was there an accident? An explosion, I think. I remember Dennis screaming, but after that, I can't remember. As I sit up, I notice that my hard hat has been thrown off. I look around the area, but it's not there. It feels strange to go anywhere without my hard hat. But I've got to find the other members of the crew. They could be in danger. Okay, so we're jumping right into it basically. So, yeah, I've heard a bit of this. I think I've seen it once or twice, eons ago. But this plays into the narrative, you know. There's a story we need to tell. Searching for the crew, yeah, that might be an option because something might be going on. But I still think the hard hat is a better option because safety first. You know, in survival scenario, it's basically make sure you survive, and then we can, yeah, let's go look for the hard hat. I get up on shaky legs and look around for a moment. A few nearby trees look to have been splintered and broken at the base recently. They certainly weren't like this earlier. Searching for the hard hat feels normal. Makes me feel like maybe there isn't something wrong here. See? I see it behind a fallen log, about 10 feet away from me. How it was thrown so far is beyond me. Driven by nothing more than habit, I walk over to it, pick it up and place it on my head. Next, I walk over to the center of the logging site and don't like what I see. Oh dear, what has happened, dear sir? Explosion, perhaps? The logging site looks like a bomb was detonated right in the center. I don't know where to start. The one load we had managed to stack on the truck for the day is overturned. The trailer bent and the logs hanging off the back. Where the hell is everyone? My head is killing me and this ringing in my ears, I can't hear anything. No birds, not my footsteps, nothing. It makes me wonder if I hit my head after my hard hat flew off. I run through a quick mental checklist to make sure my brain is still working. My name is Roger Hastings. I'm 41 years old. The year is 2017. I own a small logging company and we've been logging in the strip of Kentucky woodland for almost a month now. Okay, so my brain works, that's a relief. But it also makes me fearful. Something is certainly not right here. I look around the logging site, my mind trying to figure out what has happened. Just about every piece of equipment has been overturned or tilted. Okay, interesting. Okay, well obviously no need to look at the truck because we already have a clear description of the truck. And the equipment and everything. So I think looking at the debris might give us a sort of an insight about, like, was it a bomb? If it's a bomb, it might have burned something. If it was wind, if that's even a thing. So let's go with debris. There are bits of debris everywhere. There are fragments of the 5-gallon bucket I keep our work rags in, a loose saw chain, and an overturned gas canister. Had there been an explosion, all of the fuel on site would have started a fire. But there's no charring, no burning, nothing. I walk through the area where Dennis had been working. From the looks of it, he'd been moving slowly. He'd only taken down 4 trees today. His metal lunchbox is open and indicated that he had been taking an early break. But he's not here. No one is here. Where the hell is everyone? I could try to make a call on my cell phone, but its battery is already running really low. Jeez, that was a tongue twister. Not that it matters, the reception is crap out here. Okay, so obviously, we've already stated that the cell reception is bad and the battery's running low. So we might conserve the phone. We can save the phone, basically, for a later use. What? I'm not quite sure, because like I said, I'm going to handle this like a survival scenario. And yeah, I think yelling out, but also that could alert. But, I mean, it's an explosion. If this was some sort of attack, it would have been obvious. Hey guys, where is everyone? Tony, Dennis, Frank, Joe? But their names fall flat among the wreckage. I get nothing back other than the scaring away a few birds overhead. Might as well start walking and try to find some answers. The highway is almost a mile back through the woods, down the gravel road where we used to reach the site. Maybe the crew ran that way for help. But why would they have left me? Were they scared? Out of sorts? Maybe I can catch up with them, but with my truck turned over on its side, it looks like I'll be walking. My god, I can't even remember what I was doing before waking up on my back. Wait, what's that? Underneath the bulldozer. Oh my god, it's a leg. It has to be either Tony or Dennis. The dozer looks unstable, like it might roll some more. Might not be safe to get close, but at the same time, I can't just leave him there. Okay, again. So, it is unstable. Okay, see, we don't know how long we've been out for. This is going to be a very selfish move, but like I said, I'm taking this in terms of sole survivor, basically. I think it will be best to stay back, because, I mean, if it's just a leg sticking out from underneath a bulldozer, I don't think that person's alive. I don't. It's controversial, but this is the route we have to take. There's no use putting myself at risk. That thing could tumble again. It's pretty clear that he didn't survive. Damn. He had 2 kids too. Both sons. Wait, but we don't know if this is Tony or Dennis. It's pretty clear. Yeah, in my shock, I stumble back, suddenly tripping over a stray log behind me. The hard hat I'm wearing collides with it as I fall, doing its job. But what's more startling is realization that Tony is dead. Okay, but how did we get to the conclusion that it's Tony? I can't stay here. I have to find Dennis, Frank, and Joe. I have to find out what happened here. The plot thickens. It is curious, I must say. It is curious. As I walk through the stacks of logs from the last week or so of work, everything feels frozen. This high-pitched sound in my ears is terrible. It keeps happening every few seconds, and sounds like it's coming from far away. I can't help but wonder, is it my ears, or is it something else? The silence out here is creepy, and there's a smell, like the atmosphere after a bad summer storm. I might as well admit it, I'm a little scared. Everyone is missing and it's dead quiet out here. There doesn't even seem to be a breeze or a rustle, that breeze to rustle the leaves and branches, good grief. My right knee hurts like hell. My head was hurting so bad before that I've never even noticed the pain in my knee. Okay? I must have heard it during the what? Accident or... Wait, is that Dennis? I see him sitting on the ground, motionless, but 30 feet away. It's definitely not an explosion. I'm pretty sure it's getting a bit obvious there's not an explosion. But if that's Dennis, like, why do we have this then? Why be cautious? Even though I do think it would be a good idea to be cautious because we don't know what's going on, so Dennis doesn't know what's going on. So I think if we just take the easy approach, walk up to him, it will give it like a bit of a chill atmosphere. He's just sitting there, not moving. I walk up slowly next to him. Dennis? Hey man, can you hear me? I tap him on the shoulder. He looks up at me from the ground, clearly coming out of a daze. Yeah, Roger, I hear you, he says. Dennis is built like a wrestler and has the tough personality to match. But in this moment he looks disoriented and even a little anxious. Though I'm glad to see him. The fear on his usually confident face is alarming. What the hell happened? What's going on? He asks. See? Like just gentle approach. Don't know, the crew is missing. An explosion, I think. It's not an explosion. Come on, I'm pretty sure it would have been obvious if it was an explosion. So, don't know, the crew's missing. Missing? Dennis says. Where do you think they went? I'm not sure, I say. But it has me pretty freaked out. Something's not right here. Still sitting on the ground, he looks around the woods as if he is just now understanding the severity of the situation. The equipment was overturned, the dozers too, I say, shifting my hard hat and wiping my forehead. You okay? I ask him. Yeah, just shaken up. Me too. This might be the most intimate conversation Dennis and I have ever had. While he and I have always been on good terms, we've never been particularly close. I've always respected him though. Sure, he's come to work a few times looking like he'd been in a bar fight the night before, but I've always seen him to do an enthusiastic impression of a dinosaur as he played with Tony's kids while they waited for their dad to finish up his shift. It's then that it hits me. Dennis and Tony were good friends. I'm not sure I want to rattle him up with the news of Tony's death right now, not before we know what's going on, but he has the right to know. Okay, see, this is a thing as well. So, he is a wrestler, so I'm like, he's kind of like the muscle, I would say, if this is a survival scenario. So if we do mention Tony, it might, like put him on edge, or just lower him down. But if we don't mention him, and Dennis finds out, then that's already going to cause a bit of, like, tension. So I think being open and clear and truthful might be the situation, because even though lone survival is the thing, it's best to keep those. It's best to keep the party bound, if that makes sense. So yeah, we're gonna have to mention it so we can deal with it now, so we can move forward. You were up front with Dennis about Tony. Okay, I'm guessing that's Dennis's eyes fixed on me, startled. He was crossed under the dozer, I say. Dennis pauses for a moment, like he's trying to understand what I said. His eyes narrow and his bottom lip quivers. Shit, he says, and I can tell that he's fighting back tears. He and Tony had been tight, almost like brothers. Hey, he adds quickly, as if trying to escape the reality of Tony's death. Did you see that light? Light? No, I say. What did you see? I don't even know, Roger, he says. It was like this flare of white light. It came right up out of the ground, like an explosion. So there was an explosion, I say. Maybe it was some equipment, or this was no equipment, Dennis interrupts, agitated. This huge ball of light came right out of the damn ground. But I don't think it was an explosion. I don't, because I'm pretty sure explosions are obvious to see. You know, like charred, I mean, they did mention there were like charred marks and stuff, but still nothing, I don't know. Let's just get more information. What did it look like? Like looking into the sun, he says. It just feels like someone stabbed me in the eyes with a hot knife. When? I'm not sure, he answers, but I had finished about 10 trees for the day, was about to chop one. That's when it happened. You were almost done with 10 trees, I ask? Yeah, he says, looking at the ground. You know, I wouldn't want to take a lunch break until I was done. And that's when that light blew up. Why? You don't believe me? No, you know what? I believe him. Because again, we have to not cause tension. So let's just keep that. You believe? Geez, well, two major events in one go. He saw what he saw. I think to myself, he has no reason to lie about this. My God, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine, he says. But if I'm being honest, it scared me pretty bad. And if it's still all the same to you, I'd like to get the hell out of here. We both stand up and start heading towards the road. It isn't until we start moving that I see Dennis is wounded. His right side is coated in blood, the red seeping through his blue work shirt. There are splatters of it here and there, but also a very large red splotch that makes me worry. Okay, well, I mean, this kind of just seems like we're saying the same thing. Is he in a lot of pain, or how did he get the injury? I think let's first make sure he's okay. I think that's the most important part. I've been better. I don't know how much longer I can stay on my feet, he says. What happened, I ask. I'm not sure, Dennis replies. I must have gotten thrown or hurt somehow from that light. It's then that I noticed that the strange ringing noise is still filling the air. Hey, I said, stopping. Do you hear that high-pitched ringing noise every once in a while? Dennis looks scared when I ask him this question and he just nods. I thought it was just me, he says. He looks out of sorts and uncertain. I've never seen him like this before. It's obvious that he's looking for some reassurance. Even though I'm his boss, there's something very unnerving about this. Now, like again, if we reach communal ground, I think that'll be the best. I'm sure I sounded scared, but I don't really care. I look to Dennis and see that my confusion and fear have seeped into him. And it's that disappointment in his expression as well? I think so. It is as if he expects me to be stronger, to assure him that we're fine and nothing out of the ordinary is happening. Yeah, but I don't think that's the good way to go. We both start moving forward and don't say another word. Did you try to call Frank? Dennis asks. I know he had his cell on him today. Not yet. Luckily I still have some battery left. I pull out my cell and call Frank. Happy I didn't make that call to Dennis earlier. It rings but he doesn't pick up. But then I hear his phone go off, behind the stack of logs. Dennis and I give each other a look. As the phone goes to voicemail, I hang up, and we walk behind the logs to find Frank's phone on the ground, abandoned. We look around for Frank but find nothing, not a single trace. It's then that I notice something really odd. A 10-foot wide hole in the ground, right near where the phone was. But there's no stray piles of removed dirt or rocks. It's clean, smoothly dug, cutting into the earth. Wide but only a few feet deep. It looks unnatural, like the ground was just deleted. No shovels or diggers used. Dennis walks over to it. This looks like the same kind of hole where I saw that light come from the ground. He muses it to himself. I say nothing. My mind is spinning, but I don't know what to think. We need to get out of here, Dennis mutters. At that moment, that ringing noise carries through the forest again, sending a shiver down my spine. Dennis is right. There's something strange going on, and we might not be safe here. But that ringing sound could be a clue to where the rest of the crew went. Okay, so ground being deleted, I'm guessing it's like if you just took a circle out of it, it's just like completely clean, like a bowl, I'm guessing. And the phone, again, like I said, emergency measures. So saving stuff for when we really need it, that's the good thing here. So, okay, see, safety or curiosity. That's basically what I see here, safety or curiosity. Because I don't see why a ringing noise could lead us to the crew. I think the ringing noise might just lead us to what caused this all in the first place. We decided to avoid the sound. Oh dear. With that, we return and start walking to the west, in the direction that I'm pretty certain leads to the road. That might have been a mistake, but I do still think it's for the greater good, I guess. Oh, this is just ominous. This kind of reminds me like some sort of Silent Hill situation. It's sort of embarrassing. I've been a logger for nearly 15 years, but I'm finding it easy to get lost in these woods. The trees are so thick in places that the moonlight doesn't even reach the moonlight. It's easy to get turned around. My only hope is that I can find the overgrown dirt road that will lead us back to the highway. "You're sure we're headed the right way?" Dennis asks. "Pretty sure," I say. I turn to him and see that he's clearly in pain. It's at this moment that we come upon another one of those smooth holes. This one is even stranger because a nearby tree also has a chunk cut out of it. The arc goes smoothly through the ground and then up through the trunk, like a cartoon wrecking ball blasted through both of them. "What the hell are these things?" Dennis whispers to himself. He takes a step down into the hole, his boots creating imperfections in the shape, like footprints on a sand dune. Okay. That is interesting. But now this just gives me the vibe of those, you know, like overly sci-fi black holes kind of stuff. Like it's just like it's there and then gone, and then everything around it is just cut smoothly. If you, I don't even have the word for that, but I'm guessing you catch my drift. So he is going down. So, I think just for safety, we have to walk around the perimeter, because say now he gets stuck, then one of us are outside to help him. If we both go down or something happens, because this is like a sand dune, I'm pretty sure like a sand dune can like crumble, and this is smooth dirt, so it might be unstable. So I think let's just stay outside for safety. I walk along the edge, each step sending pebbles down into the hole and ruining its perfect shape. I'm amazed at how smooth it is. I walk along the edge with each step sending pebbles down into the hole and ruining its perfect shape. I'm amazed at how smooth it is. Even rocks that were under the earth have been sheared to fit the spherical shape. But as I'm noticing this, I notice Dennis's feet start to sag. "Dennis, get out," I start, but I don't finish. Before he can react, the ground is giving way and he's falling. I try to step back, but the fissure that opens up disintegrates the ground beneath my feet as well. I cry out in surprise and can barely hear Dennis letting out a curse as we go down into the earth. Well, that could have gone better, I believe. Oh, this is just a new atmosphere entirely. Oh, this is going to be like some sandworm. The fall isn't a long one, but when I hit something a few seconds later, it hurts like hell. The wind goes rushing out of me when I hit, and a sharp pain flies through me. "What the hell?" I say once my breath is back. Beside me, Dennis is slowly rolling over to get to his feet. I look up and see the hole in the ground where we fell through. It looks to be about 10 feet over our heads. It's completely dark, but there's a small flicker of light further into the cave ahead of us, and a solid wall of rock behind us. Looks like the only way out are further down to the cave or up through the way we fell in. Dennis might be able to boost me up there, but with his injury I'm not sure how stable he is. He might drop me. And at the same time, if that thing collapsed so easily with a single disturbance, I really do not think it's worth it. Because we might end up injuring Dennis more, and then there we go. I decide we better not risk hurting ourselves trying to climb out, my point exactly. As we turn to head into the cave, I take a closer look at the light further ahead, and realize it's artificial. We both start heading towards it instinctively. As we step into the light, panic gently gnaws at me because what I'm seeing makes absolutely no sense. It's no longer a cave or a hall. It's a sparsely lit corridor. Are we dealing with the SCP Foundation here? I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone has made that assumption from what I've read from this game. Yeah, no, this has SCP written all over it. Oh dear. It's a massive corridor, in fact. It seems to go on forever. This corridor is mostly dark, with emergency lights every 10 feet or so. I turn to my left and see that there's a door which appears to lead upwards to the outside, but it's locked tight. I push as hard as I can, but no luck. Dennis, help me with this, I say. He comes over and we both try to kick the door open, but it doesn't budge. For some reason, someone doesn't want people getting out of here. Or get in. You know, that's always the case as well. Looks like we're headed down the hallway. There's no need to run. There's really no need to run, so we might as well just go slow and steady. I feel like a ghost, like I truly have no business being here. Dennis leans on me for support. We move slowly, our feet not making a sound. If anyone is in here, I want to make sure they don't hear us. We tiptoe forward as softly as we can. As I carry Dennis to the far end of this otherwise featureless place, I see a flight of concrete stairs leading down. I have to set Dennis down on the floor. His weight is killing me. Dennis, are you okay? Stop worrying, man, he says. I'll be okay. I just need a minute to rest. But looking at him, I'm not sure. I can still hear the ringing noise every so often, coming from somewhere in here. I look ahead at the concrete stairs, pointing towards them so that Dennis sees them. Can you make it down those stairs, I ask? He stands up slowly and is visibly making an effort not to fall back down. Yeah, he says, and sounds a little irritated. He starts for the stairs without me and have no choice but to follow. We approach the stairs, and by just looking at them, I get the sense that we're crossing some sort of line here. There may very well be no going back. I'm going to have to agree with you on that point, my friend. Because, I mean, hopefully there's some medical stuff down here that we can use to help Dennis with. As I head down the stairs, I notice that they look aged. That damned ringing noise is somewhere below, louder than ever. I feel like I'm walking down into the cellar of a haunted house, the light becoming scarce as the stairs take a slight turn. I can feel the temperature drop. Dennis makes it a few steps down before he is leaning on the wall. He's breathing like he just finished a marathon. Give him a break. If we push him... Let's take a break, I say, putting my hand towards his shoulder to help steady him. Dennis let out a sigh. Thanks, I don't feel too great, boss. As we both squat down on the stair, my mind seems to lock in on the unknown fate of the rest of my crew. Frank is married and I've met his wife a few times, a nice woman with a huge laugh. My heart sags a bit when I realize I might never again get to hear him belting out classic rock tunes during lunch break. Joe, well, I don't know too much about him. He's 22 years old and is considering community college. His folks are deadbeats, so he's been providing for himself since the age of 16 or so. Maybe I can still find them, and still get to hear Frank singing in his deep baritone voice after a few too many drinks. After a few moments, Dennis says, alright, let's keep going. We both stand up, leaning on each other. I have to make Dennis stay behind me as I stick my foot out in search for the next step. I can't help feeling like a child as a very powerful fear seizes me. I'm expecting a monster to reach out of the darkness, slicing into my throat. After what feels like forever, we come to the bottom of the stairs. We're closer to that ringing noise now. A door sits securely in the wall and looks just as out of place down here as I feel. A slither of light seeps through, illuminating the area. The door was what looks like a panel with lots of labels and lights. Small embossed print above the panel says Level 01 Entrance Gate, Transport Sector. And there's a button with no label. Let's not go pressing buttons without knowing what it is. Also, this is also looks like an SCP situation. The panel looks like a diagnostic or alert system of some kind, each label meant to communicate some status. Lockdown engaged, experiment in progress, shutdown engaged. Okay, this is some laboratory shit going on. Those all appear to be off, but one of the phrases has a slowly blinking red light next to it. The only powered light on this whole thing. Abnormal entity breach. What the hell? I slowly push the door open when Dennis suddenly steps in front of me, taking the lead. Let's go, he says. I want to find out what the hell this place is. As Dennis walks through, that ringing or beeping or whatever it is gets a little louder. The door closes behind us with a click. I can't help but notice the wobble in Dennis' step as he lets out a grunt. You sure you're healthy enough to keep going? I ask. Doesn't matter. I don't want to be in the woods right now. He seems scared. Something I've never seen before. Angry, yes. Upset, yes. But Dennis is never scared. I don't know, man. I think he saw something. So we have to get the communication. I don't know what it was, boss. It was like someone had left a radio on crackling, but we don't have any radios at the site. I don't know. It was like something in the forest was moving. I gave him a doubtful look and he cast his eyes to the ground, frustrated. I know how it sounds, he says, but I know what I felt. It was like walking into a funeral parlor feeling death and gloom everywhere. I'd been so preoccupied with my own fear that I nearly forgot about the ringing noise. It had become just background noise. We take a few more steps and I can now see where we are. It makes no sense. Yet another thing that simply seems out of place. The shapes and muted colors of metal are easy to identify, but it just doesn't belong here. This has to be some facility. It has to be. You know, and Dennis obviously saw something. He might know exactly what's going on here. Jeez, I don't know. I have more questions now. I mean, I've seen some of this, but this is all what the hell? Respect the dead. You and 36 of players left Tony's body where you found it. Secrets. You and 76 of players were upfront with Dennis about Tony's death. Trust. You and 55% told Dennis you believed his story. Curiosity. You and 25% of players ran away from the ringing sound. Okay, odd statistics. Well, I guess that's all the time I have here. You know, time is short. So if you did like this, if it was entertaining in any way, shape or form, then just, you know, leave a like, maybe subscribe, because this is going to continue on for a while. Every Wednesday for the next month, I guess, that's what they told. Leave a like, subscribe, maybe tell me what you thought, if I was an absolute crappy narrator, or ADHD kicks in and I can't even read the words before me, you know, just type it there, let me know. Okay, that's always fun to read. And if you want to support any creative stuff I do, in the description there's a bunch of links. But yeah, I'm making this way too long, so I'm guessing the outro is going to cut